Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name's Laura and I do all things gardening and food. Today is going to be a slightly different one to our usual. We are going to do a little bit of what we're going to cook. So obviously we're growing all our vegetables, but I thought I might show you what I do with a few of them in the kitchen. So it is super early in the morning, as you can see. The sun hasn't even come out yet. It is a little bit cold, so I am a little bit wrapped up, but today I am just out having a walk. Just as I left the house, I saw the tomato plant, which looks horrendous. So it looks like it's trying to grow into next door's house, for one, and then second is I've seen a few little black spots on one of the plant, so I really need to go out and sort that. So it might take me a little bit of time to cut it back, so I'm definitely going to do that today. I'm feeling like autumn vibes still. It's still been quite cold and blustery, so I think I'm going to put the slow cooker on. So I'm going to take the slow cooker out, I'm going to pop that on. I put a big joint of beef on the order, so I think we might cook that today, which I think will be super nice. And they're just like fuss-free, aren't they, slow cooker meals? It's like probably my most used gadget, so I'm really looking forward to that. So you're probably wondering where I am, or actually if you're in Ireland you probably know if you're in the south of Ireland. So I'm actually just checking out the new greenway. So they extended the greenway and built like a little extra walkway off of the quay. So like, I just thought, I haven't been down here, it's been really hectic with work and everything, so I was like, I'll come down this morning. It only opened a couple of weeks back and I will have a little walk along the greenway. So I'm in Waterford and I thought that what else could I do other than show you one of like the famous things that we have for breakfast here. So it's called a Waterford blah, and it's not to be confused with a bap. So it is obviously like a local sort of like, could you say, delicacy here? So like it's actually got like a regional trademark, I think, for it. You know, a bit like champagne in France. Protected geographical indication status. That's such a mouthful to say. So the Waterford blah actually has a geographical protected indication status by the European Commission. So I think that means it can only ever actually be made here. So specific to the bakeries in Waterford, which is kind of cool. So yeah, not to be confused with a bap or anything like that. So like it's like a soft sort of like spongy roll. Well, the ones I have are soft. You can get crusty ones as well. That's a big debate down here, whether you have a soft one or a crusty one, and like what bakery you get them from as well. So yeah, we're gonna get some breakfast. I'll show you what one of those look like, and yeah, let's get into today's video. We've just parked up and I managed to get my hands on a lovely sausage and rasher blah. So I'm going to show you what that looks like. So here it is, and a cute little man gave it to me and he said, can I come round to your house to have some breakfast with you? And he was like really old, he was like 85 or something. And I said, yeah, sure, no bother, I'll pop the kettle on for you. He was so cute. He was like, have a nice day. He was the sweetest person. So wrapped it up, so cute. I love going to like little local newsagents and getting things like this. I think it's so cute. So I'll show you what it looks inside. So it's like a little floury bun. I got some red sauce in it, or ketchup, whatever. So this is what it looks like, right? So it's a super floury bun and it's like square, super soft. And inside I have a sausage, a rasher, some red sauce and the bun. So that's what it looks like. And I'm going to take a little bite and do a little taste test. So, and hopefully it doesn't go all over me. This stuff, like you see on my hands, this is a really messy thing to eat. So I'm just going to wrap it up in the packaging and hope for the best and it doesn't spill all over my clothes. But yeah, I'd be super interested actually to see what is like a local sort of like food delicacy to you. Like what's your local town known for? Because this is what Waterford's known for. I think it's really cool that they've got like a protected status on these. Do you know, like not many places have that. So yeah, let's give it a little bite. It's good. Boozy. They're super duper messy. I'm going to finish this. You let me know in the comments below what your town is famous for making, and we will go home and try and sort out that tomato because it has seen better days. needs to be all cut back. So I will see you back at home. So we've just got home and there she is, the unruly tomato plant. I mean, it's ridiculously tall, but like I just wanted to get loads and loads of like fruits off of it. I was being greedy, but like we've had no sun, so none of the fruit is developing. I mean, I definitely should have topped it before now, but no time like the present, I guess. And yeah, I'll just give you a little bit of a closer look before we go in and put the dinner on. But you see in there, that stem coming out is starting to go black, and the leaves are starting to really show signs of blight. So there seems to be only 2 bad leaves on this one. So this leaf here, and then there's one just there. But I'm going to cut it back. I'm going to give it a good old haircut. I know some of you were asking me to save some of the seeds from the tomato fruits, especially from this one over here, which seems to be okay. And the fruit on this one is developing. I'll just show you in there. So I will pick some of those off and I will save the seeds because I know a couple of you were asking for them. So don't panic, I will remember to do that. And yeah, need to give this a good old stake back and a good old haircut, because obviously, dare I say it, it looks like blight has hit the tomatoes, but it also looks like the tomatoes want to grow next door and not in my own garden, so I need to tame them in a bit. But let's go inside, pop the dinner on, and then we will come back out. So for this recipe, what you're going to need is some beef, a couple of carrots, an onion, stock cube, rosemary from the garden, some bay leaves, and some garlic. But I like a lot of garlic, so the recipe says to do 2 cloves, but I absolutely love garlic, so I'm going to do a few more than 2. And you also need some white wine, but I don't have any at the minute, so I'm going to substitute that for some white wine vinegar. So let's get cracking, do up these vegetables and pop them into the slow cooker. Right, so I've washed my hands and we are going to get on and chop up some of these veggies. So I'm going to peel the carrots. Right, so we're going to get on and peel the carrots. I'm going to dump all the bits and bobs that I don't want into this bowl here, and I might end up giving the ends of the carrots to Ruby. So I'm just going to top and tail them. He loves these. Just give them a little peel. My carrots, put them over there. I'll do the onion first. Thank God the camera's not on my eye. I'll start crying when I do these. These are organic onions from Tesco because my lady from the CSA isn't here. She's on holidays for a week. Yeah, I'm just going to roughly chop this, nothing major. That's the absolute joy of slow cookers. Leave it do its thing. That onion is strong. So this garlic was actually from my lady at the CSA. It has got a bit of mud on it actually. I'm just going to rinse that. Right, so that's most of the mud off of those. And I'm just going to top and tail them and just peel them off. And I might just give them a little whack like that. And then that will be how it goes into the slow cooker. So simple. Don't need any fancy technique or knives. Sometimes it's just a bit easier if you do it like that. And like that, just they pop out of their shells, which is great. Stalk of celery from the garden. I'm just going to take off these ends. I might use them in the stock just to flavour it up. I'm actually going to roll these up, and this will help form part of the gravy. So I'm just going to give them a little dice. So just one stalk, because homegrown celery is so flavourful. I'm gonna chop it dice it up. So I've just made myself a coffee and have the stock there in the corner, just diluting. Is that what it's called? Dissolving, diluting. So that's doing its thing over there. And I've just taken the packaging off of the beef so that it can, firstly I've taken it out of the fridge so it can come up to room temperature so that when I pop it into the cast iron it doesn't crack. But I also need to cut off these so that they don't burn and snap in the cast iron. If I wasn't searing it, I would just leave those on because it keeps the joint nice and intact, so it's nice when you go to slice it later on. So I'm snipping these off because they're only going to burn in the cast iron. But if you're not searing your beef, then you can leave them on. But I tried it before with them on and they just completely burn to a crisp. So I'm just gonna rub a little bit of oil on it. It's probably put a bit too much on there, but never mind. Just gonna rub a little bit of oil over the top of that. So just going in with some pepper. I like a bit of pepper on mine now. And we will go in with some salt. This is just sea salt and I'm cracking it myself. So we're just going to leave that sear. I'm not going to move it, not going to poke it or anything. I'm just going to leave it sear. And it is so worth adding this little step when you're using the slow cooker. Any meat that you're using or vegetables, just browning the meat or the veg gives it so much more flavour. So when this is done, it should naturally release off of the pan. But look at all that flavour. That is just exactly what I was after. So you can see obviously where I've taken the twine off of it, it's obviously split. So whatever way this cut of meat is, that twine would have kept it together, but it's absolutely fine. So I'm literally going to throw in everything. Onions, carrots, garlic, everything. All in, celery, the lot. And then even those little celery leaves because they'll be great for the stock. And I'm just going to scrape the rest of this up with my knife. Like that. Everything goes in. Just throw it all in and it will be perfect. So like no waste, proper simple, so easy. And then in goes our meat. So it did split into 2 halves, but that's okay. So I've got 2 chunks of meat there. Herbs, bay leaves, rosemary, white wine vinegar. And the last thing is stock. And of course, some salt and pepper. Freshly ground pepper. I love pepper, so I put quite a bit in. And some freshly ground sea salt. And there you have it. Simple as that. So I'm not going to add any more liquid to this other than what's in there because this will all release juices. I always do less liquid than the recipe says. The recipe says 500 ml, but I think 300 ml will be perfect, and I will show you what it looks like in a little while. Alright, so we're ready to switch it on. I am going to use one of the pre-programmed settings today. So I'm going to do slow cook. I'm going to scroll down to pot roast. It's going to cook for 6 hours on low, and then after 6 hours it will automatically keep warm for me. And that's it. Just click the button and it's done. And dinner will be ready in 6 hours time. I am going to head back into the garden and see if I can figure out something to do with this tomato. I'll see you outside. So I'm going to start by cutting back probably the good plants first, and then I'm going to cut back the plants that have the blight on them because it doesn't spread and it gives it the best chance. But you know what, I reckon I'm going to cut this back now today, and it is going to be like glorious sunshine for like the next 4 weeks or something. So I might just top these as well whilst I'm at it, because I don't think they are going to produce much more fruit. So I'm actually going to not cut it there. I will cut it above this truss here, and then that will put the energy back down into that plant here. There's loads of fruit on this one down the bottom. This is the one we called the warp tomato, and there's absolutely hundreds of like little baby tomatoes on there. So I do need to go in and just prune those out, create a bit of airflow. I know loads of people have been getting blight on their plants, so I think if you nip it in the bud early enough, you might actually end up saving your crop. So hopefully that's what happens here. So yeah, good old prune on these. And do you know what else we'll do today? Like obviously we have the food on that we've just done, but we will pick a few veggies to go with it. So I'm thinking some runner beans. Runner beans? I'm not even growing runner beans. French beans should be ready to pick. I've been picking a few already the last couple of days, but I haven't picked some in about 3 days, so I think there should be some ready to pick. I'm gonna maybe pull off the netting off the brassica cage and pick some kale. I think some just some sauteed kale in butter, salt and pepper, and maybe some garlic oil would be nice with that to go with our little slow cooked beef joint. And what I will do as well is I will clean these scissors, or secateurs, is that what they're called? Before I touch the tomato that's around the corner. The one around the corner looks okay, but I'm just going to create a bit more airflow here. Oh look, it's my little anemone. It actually transplanted. Looks like it's going to be a blue one. That's cute. I mean, after all the rain we've had as well, like, it's so dry in here. Like, look at that soil, it's so dry. Let's come in here and water it. Right. Wow, someone took a chunk out of that one. Look at that. Oh, that's mad. Right, let's get rid of that. Uh-oh. Oh no. I just snapped that whole stem. Look what I did. I snapped off the whole stem. Oh, look. When I'm trying to help things, I always end up hindering it. Look what I've done. There is one red one on there, though. But this is the one that I was saying to everybody just looked like a Barry's Crazy. I know it isn't a Barry's Crazy, but it did produce some fruit. Look what I've gone and done. I cannot believe it. I wonder will they ripen up inside if I leave them in the windowsill or something. I know they're not fully developed, but I can't believe it. I'm trying to save the plant and I've ended up ruining it. There is one. I'll save the seeds from that one for everybody. Right, this is actually a Brussels sprout. As you can see, my brassica cage is easy to get into, but I'm actually going to take off these lower leaves because they look really tired. Whilst I'm here, we're actually getting some Brussels sprouts in there too, which is kind of cool. Loads of caterpillar eggs on that one. Look, loads in there. Yeah, just going to pull off these lower ones. So the kale, I believe, is in the back there somewhere, but there's loads and loads of brassicas in the way. The joys of a tiny garden, hey? So these are gorgeous variety called Golden Sweet. I think they're called Golden Sweet. I'll check the seed packet for you indoors. And that one's growing really funny. dwarf bean, so I'm really happy with those. Haven't tried any yet. I did put a batch into the freezer that I was going to put into my shepherd's pie, but I made the shepherd's pie and I forgot to put them in, so they're still in the freezer. So on the next shepherd's pie I make, I will put them in there, you know, instead of peas. And hopefully there should be enough between... Oh, there's a slug in that one. Ew, look. There's a slug made a home in that one. Come in, duck duck. Let's go inside. I was just processing the kale for the side for our dinner tonight, and look what I just found. I think it could be like a little butterfly cocoon or something. So I think I'm going to put him outside in a little safe space so that he can live and grow on. I'm going to pop him back outside now. Let's have a little look where we can put him. Right, where were we going to put it? Obviously not on top of the brassica cage, because that would not be a good idea. Wonder, will I put it down by the marigolds? They have seen better days, but or maybe if I pop him in under here. Mind that, Rubu. That's it. I'll pop him in there and then he can survive. Hopefully he has a good chance of surviving in there. Right, back to the kale. So I'm just going through the kale just to check to see if we've got any more little friends on them. Look, there's one there. Little caterpillar there. Friend and foe, hey? Right, take him off. Put you back outside, my friend. Right. Checking that there's no more on here. And then what I'm going to do is take the stem right at the bottom, and then I'm just going to kind of pinch it, and then I'm just going to pull the stem through. And that takes it all off. No, I won't use that. I don't need to. So I'll give this all a rinse. I might give it a little fine shred, and then I'm going to saute it in some butter in the cast iron. That's it, chopping up the kale, ready to go and be sauteed in some butter, which will be absolutely lovely. And I'm going to pan fry the green beans as well, and I just topped and tailed those earlier. So over to the hob and we shall finish making our dinner. A little pat of butter. Some garlic. I'm just going to put in a drop of olive oil as well, just some extra virgin olive oil, just to stop the butter burning. Now obviously both of these have quite a low smoke point, so you don't want it too hot, so I'm just going to turn it down. And then I'm just going to add my kale in. But amazing, smell of that is unbelievable. With the fresh garlic sauteing in the butter, perfection. Just try a bit there now, see is the seasoning alright. Now give it a little bit more salt. And just a little touch of pepper. Love pepper, I'll do quite heavy on pepper. I've really enjoyed bringing you guys into the kitchen today. It's really great to have you here. That's it, right. Just going to pop it into this bowl. And then do the beans, and everything should be then ready. I love butter, guys. Don't think I'd be part of an Irish family if I didn't have butter, but pure proper butter, salted. Let them cook down and saute for a bit. And they will be lovely. I grew these as well. I just think that's so cool. I literally grew these and we're going to eat them. I just think that's so cool, like from like a tiny little seed like that big. Isn't that mad? I absolutely love that. Plants are amazing. There's not many, but this was like 2 days worth of pickings. I picked probably about, yeah, It's great. It's enough for us though, with the other veggies that I have, so I'm really happy with that. Super, super delighted. And I will bring you over and I'll show you my my slow cooked beef. Right, let's have a little look and see what this looks like. So I've left it on keep warm and it's just kept going. So it's been on keep warm for literally an hour and 40 minutes because we weren't ready for dinner. And I'm just gonna have a little look-see inside. And there it is. Beautiful, slow cooked beef. That's my dinner complete. Chuffed with that. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today, guys, in my kitchen and my garden, and I'll see you in the next one. I'm off to eat my dinner. Bye. Finish this. You let me know in the comments down below what your